The one game that you didn't have to watch on a Disney brand was Colorado TCU. And all the talk this offseason was Deion Sanders coming from Jackson State, going to Colorado with a one-win Colorado team, overturning like 70% of the roster, bringing a bunch of his guys there. All the talk and swagger you get from Deion, what was the result going to be? And holy shit, they delivered.
I mean, yeah, almost 21-point underdogs to the former defending team that appeared in the national championship last year, and Sonny Dykes Horned Frogs at TCU having to play in a very hot weather environment there in August in Texas. And they go in, and not only do they pull the outright upset as massive underdogs, first win by Colorado over a top 10 team in more than 20 years, but he does it in style. He does it with one of the most exciting, most engaging, fun games all year long. He does it with a player that's a Heisman candidate, the number one prospect that he got out of high school to go to Jackson State and transfer with him, Travis Hunter, who played an extraordinary 144 snaps on both sides of the ball and on special teams. It was insane. I mean, Champ Bailey did a little bit of that, but I don't think he ever got to 144 snaps in any game. And then, of course, his son, the quarterback, his other son, the safety, both played well. They disguised their vulnerabilities enough to get by, and they made big. I mean, Sanders threw for more yards than he ever did at Jackson State, and he broke a Colorado record in the process.
Yeah.
Said he was going to be, Coach Prime. He was, we're back, we're coming. And I think the biggest thing he reflects and reveals is what's changing all of college football. Aside from all the crazy conference realignments, this is the last year Colorado will be in the Pac-12. Is the only year Deion will be coaching in it as they shift to the Big 12, as the Pac-12 becomes the Pac-2. Is the transfer portal. Is and a lot of people criticize them for first thing he does when he shows up on campus is tell everybody most of you guys suck and you should just go transfer somewhere else. But what he did by drawing all the notoriety and attention to that speech was players all across the country said, golly gee, I can play right away at Colorado because they're scratching their entire roster. And so, I think the second most transfers in the country was 24, something like that. He brought in, I think 70. I mean, it was crazy.
A lot of players. And
revolution. He showed here's what you can do with the transfer portal. You can radically reshape your entire roster. You can take the worst team and arguably all of college football, definitely the Power Five, a team that from a power rating perspective was 30 points worse than average. In other words, they would rank towards the bottom of the MAC in power ratings. That's how bad and atrocious Colorado was last year. And they go in and upset the team that was playing for the national championship on their home turf in their very first outing. Now, great coordinator hires, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Former Kent State head coach is one of the most creative, most fun coaches in the country. Sanders realized his talent, went out and grabbed him, brought in some of his offensive linemen that could adjust well enough. Their front seven defensively has a lot missing, but they have a lot of talent in the secondary, a lot of talent at the skill positions, and they're probably going to have a lot of fun, engaging games this year. And credit to Coach Prime. He used what was available to him to revolutionize Colorado football in a single season.
It's wild. And obviously, the average coach is not going to be able to go into a program and do this. This is Deion Sanders. This is Prime. This is the swagger. This is what he brings. And when you come into Colorado, you talk that big game, people are going to flock to him. This guy is a legend. This is one of the best to ever do it. And he's got all of the swagger associated with that. So you know that not only are you playing for Deion, but you're playing for a Deion Sanders who's going to get all the attention from the press. Like Colorado's constantly going to be in the headlines. They're constantly going to get in games they wouldn't before. So that's so much incentive for young guys who want to be stars, who think they have what it takes to go there and get that kind of exposure. And we weren't sure what to expect. It's only one game against a TCU who lost a lot from last year, undoubtedly. But I think everybody's really impressed. And the way that that offense played and the way the defense played looks like they're ready for the Big 12 already, to be honest with you. I think they're going to fit right in whenever they get to the Big 12.
No doubt about it. I mean, it's fun that they're playing Nebraska. Nebraska now in the Big 10, Colorado now in the Big Pac-12. about to go to the Big 12, but that was a great historic matchup in the 90s between those programs, and even through up until the early 2000s. And the one thing with Colorado is they had a very underappreciated fan base. Last year when they played TCU at home, big underdogs, they cracked. I mean, one of the worst teams in college football. It was still mostly sold out with a very passionate crowd. That in Boulder, it's always been a party campus, along with Eugene, Oregon, and Madison, Wisconsin, and so it's a big football town. I mean, the Denver Broncos are, of course, are revered throughout all the Rocky Mountain states. So I think he's got the fan base, he's got the donors, and now he's got a lot of public opinion on his side. So I think he will be. He's turning out to be not just flash, but have some substance behind it.
Yeah, and this is a team, well, a university that's only, it might seem like a lot when you say 30 years removed from a national title, but in the grand scheme of things, not a ton. There's not a huge list of teams that can say that. And they do have that, in their history. They still got fans that remember that and want to get back to those days. And Deion has given them a lot of hope to do just that, undoubtedly.